Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GAC Group 2015 ITTF World Tour Japan Open. This is a super series as part of the World Tour. That means it's a very important tournament, and we are here in Kobe, Japan. I'm Adam Bobrow, and this is the women's singles quarterfinals with Yuling in front, followed by Hyowon, the defensive player, in the back. Should be an exciting showdown. Always great to watch a defensive player out here, and Hyowon has been quite an exciting defensive player and a successful one over the last few years.
Now we are going to introduce the players and the umpires respectively. Yuling 選手、中華人民共和国、第4シードで世界ランク5位です。Seed number 4, world ranking number 5, Yuling from China.
And you heard it, Yuling, fourth seed in this tournament, entered the tournament at world rank number 5, is currently world rank number 6. Is just 20 years old, one of the youngest players on the Chinese national team that gets a whole lot of playing time. And Hyowon, at 28 years of age, entered the tournament at world rank number 12, is currently world rank 13.
The umpire is from Japan.
Our head umpire from Japan.
The assistant umpire is
And also from Japan, our assistant umpire. Now these two have faced off 3 times in the past. 2 of those have gone to Yuling, 1 to Hyowon. In the most recent matchups, 2013 and 2014, they were split. The East Asian Games of 2013, it was Hyowon who had a 3-0 win in the semifinals of the women's team main draw. In the quarterfinals in the 17th Asian Games in 2014, it was Yuling who won 4-0. So both players have shut each other out. We'll see how it goes here. The time before that they played was in 2010. It's been a long time, but it was here in Japan. The Japan Open in the qualifying groups. Shows you how much time has passed. Neither of these players need to play the qualifiers now. Seeded directly into the main draw. The top 16 players on the men's and women's side of this tournament directly earned themselves a spot in the main draw. Again, there were 78 women signed up for this tournament, entered to play, 89 men, a total of 167 athletes. We've got 6 events. We've got $220,000 in prize money being given out. And we're here at the Green Arena in Kobe, a beautiful city. Very appropriately named if you look around outside. Green foliage all over. Plenty of natural rain here to keep the plants coming up. Clean air. We've got an exciting battle. Yuling of China and Hyowon of Korea in yellow. Hyowon had a good victory, upsetting Ai Fukuhara, known as Ai-chan, the most famous table tennis player and one of the most famous people in all of Japan. Has to go outside wearing a face mask. There's a statue of her in the middle of Tokyo. And here's some stats of Yuling, the winner of the Russian Open in 2014. Sorry, the Swedish Open, semi-finalist at the Russian Open, and a quarter-finalist at the World Championships in Suzhou just earlier this year. There's Konling Hui, legend of the sport for the Chinese national team, the Chinese women's national team coach, and Grand Slam winner. Looks like a Zen master there right now. Hyowon, 28 years of age. Some players peak in their mid-20s. The Chinese national team, it's rare to see players playing into their 30s. See some stats on Hyowon here, some of her accomplishments. Runner-up at the World Tour Grand Finals, only losing to Kasumi Ishikawa. Had an incredible tournament, but Kasumi Ishikawa simply steamrolled her. The best playing I've ever seen from Kasumi Ishikawa. That tournament offered $100,000 prize money to the winner of that event, which went to Kasumi Ishikawa. There's our head umpire, Setsuko Ioki from Japan, local umpire. And our assistant umpire, Tomoko Fukuda, also from Japan. Other than the tournament being held in Japan, even at the US Open and countries all over the world, you can find many Japanese umpires. Sport very popular here. Service master Hyowon is going to start us off in the best of 7. Here we go. Outstanding first point. Big forehand attack to start it off from the defender, followed up by a forehand attack on the run before she got back into defense. Just missing long. Points are split 1 each. Hyowon barely beat chopper Hitomi Sato, under 21 women's champion here from Japan, their very first round of the main draw. Goes for the blocking shot. Difficult to do. We'll occasionally see a twiddle, mostly on the serve from Hyowon. Most defenders use the inverted side of their racket to keep spin and control on the serve. Ripping forehand deep into the backhand side. Hyowon, a very effective attacker. Again, if the opponent doesn't fear an attack ever, there's much less pressure on them to do anything. They can even leave it on the table pushing. Fishing shot stays low and dips past. Kicking out. Very versatile game on the forehand side. Looked like she was going to chop it until the very last moment, sort of straighten out the racket head. Just long. There's been some question about why people stomp when they serve. Sometimes hiding the sound of the contact of the ball gives a little extra advantage. Sometimes it's a momentum thing for players, but it's quite common to hear stomping on serves. From down near the ground, the forehand chop floats long. Smart play wide to the backhand, gets a defensive shot back and loops it to the short side of the table. Not much to fear for Yuling if she can get that serve out wide to the backhand. Counterattack falls short. Hyowon trailing by 3 now with her second serve. And the last 4 points in a row have gone to Yuling. Hasn't really been able to get into long rallies. Definitely going to be to the advantage of the defender to get into the long rallies. Defender's most comfortable with that.
3-9.
Deceptive serve with some underspin. Short side of the table for a down the line forehand attack doesn't go through, and it's 7 game points for Yuling in game 1. Plays the short side of the table.
4.
Sounds like a little bit of missed contact. That's why we see the apologies. And the last one floats long, 11-4, Yuling. Amazing turnaround after being tied up at 3-all. We'll see how things go in game 2 after this short break.
돌아서서 자리 잡아서 탁 걸면 그다음에 네가 물러나잖아. 거기다 짧게 걸어서 스쿼드 잘해. 뭐 얻어 맞지.
就大部分是你自己这板，它是长一点，特别想摆的就是稍微加点稍微度它就是长了，它短感觉只要长一点才好拉死。好吧，现在所有的状况是。
나머지는 제가 거기다 먹는 거 아니면은 계속 받아야지. 근데 초구에 코스가 좀 빠르게 줬다가 천천히 줬다가 이것도 아까 움직여줘야 되는데 내가 볼 보고 팍 걸잖아. 이 연습 잘 됐습니다. 네가 축 주면 그냥 팍 걸어버리면 그 다음에 팍 건져가면서 짧게 걸면 어떻게 돼? 그 다음에 뒤통수. 그거 잡기가 어렵단 말이야. 코스가 좀 훨씬 나더라고.
Second game, shoot to serve, double.
Yuling's going to start us off with the serve in game 2.
One love.
Now, we've talked about the rubber types. On the backhand of Hyowon, they're long pips, which is going to make it very difficult for her to attack with the backhand side unless she twiddles her racket. Part of the reason she's developed such a strong forehand attack. Crazy shot, clipping the side of the table, just the top edge. Big run around there. It's going to be a difficult shot either way. Yuling getting in near the net for the angle. Step around attack, but it's just a little bit too predictable. Yuling waiting there. Anticipates well, moves for the cross-court shot. From this angle, it actually looked much lower and more aggressive. That last shot, very unusual. Fast, sort of flat hitting chop. Chops tend to float a little bit more than that. Yuling very in control right now, taking the ball early, putting power on it, moving it around. Second half of game 1 was all Yuling, keeping the rally short. Smart placement. Plays the short side of the table. We talked about the Hyowon attack. It's going to be less time for Yuling to react if she can make it to the short side of the table.
6-2.
Punching shot with the backhand. Very difficult to do with long pips. Heavy spin short to the forehand side, and it's Yuling who's left with the ball over the table into the net. Fishing shot on the forehand side of Hyowon has been quite effective, mixing it up, keeping Yuling slightly out of her rhythm. And the floating chop, less underspin on it than it appears. It's lifted up and out by Hyowon. Right at the moment of contact, she stops. Little follow through makes it difficult to read. for Hyowon, ties it right back up. Look how rapidly that ball is spinning, straight side spin. Even in slow motion, you couldn't read the label, just a blur. And what was once comfortable is no more for Yuling. Still some ways to go in this game, but the last 4 points in a row have gone to Hyowon. Forehand attack out wide. Yuling on defense. The attacker becoming the defender. A little bit of meta here for some table tennis. Look at the racket speed from Hyowon stepping around that ball. Right down the middle of the table, it's the forehand attack from Hyowon that takes the point. What a run from the Korean defender. Right on the line, jamming Yuling. Grr. Short side of the table, the grunt doesn't help it over, but it's still a 2-point lead for Hyowon. Deep on the table and bending with a little bit of side spin. Hyowon has earned herself 3 game points in game 2. Extra side spin left on the ball as the players go to towel off. Hyowon trying to keep that ball on the backhand side. Heavy underspin does it. 11-8. Hyowon gets game 2, and we're tied up at 1 game each. Game 3 will determine who has the lead just after this break. Stay with us.
제가 치도 어떻게 이기려면 급해진단 말이야. 그럼 일단은 제가 회전이 많은 거 네가 일단 첫 번째는 중국 나바에 대한 컨트롤을 하는 거야. 그리고 그다음에 파 짧은 거. 그렇게 발리해도 맞더라 못해. 지금 회전이 많기 때문에. 회전이 많아고 어려운 거 같아. 그다음에 네가 지금 중국에서 치면 좋은 거 맞아. 그다음에 가더라니까. 네가 떨어져서 초구 제끼는 거 나오면 달리기 어렵지. 떨어져서 걸으면 중국 나바는 별로 안 세. 제일 안 치는 게 어렵단 말이야. 이 샤워를 거기다 빠져. 쉬운 빠져. 예전에 다 됐습니다. 근데 나름대로 어려운 건 알고 있어. 어려운 건 다 아까 이거 하다 중간에 한번 다시 좋아. 그런 거라. 그런 걸 해도 그러나 좋아. 제가 또 하루 짧게 하다가 만들어질 거라고. 급해졌다고 분명히 얘기하는 거죠. 급해졌고. 근데 그걸 진행을 해야 돼. 그거부터 놓고 하는 거 있잖아. 2개 하나 빨리 했다가 2번째 하는 것도 같이 하고. 급해지는 걸 만들어야 돼.
And we're back for game 3 of the women's singles quarterfinals, where Hyowon of Korea has just tied it up against China's Yuling, 1 game each. Again, as far as tactics and strategy goes, it's a thinker's game, but against a defender, when there's a defender in the mix, it's always exciting. Tripping up in the backcourt, Hyowon floats the chop long. Inside out forehand blocked back to the middle of the table. Hyowon having some trouble recovering. Love how she drops the racket head after the shot. The full extension attack takes a little time to recover. Fast serve in the middle and a very ambitious third ball from Yuling finds the net and out. Well placed, a little bit in at the body on the backhand side, and Hyowon does not have a successful chop. Excellent serve on the high toss. Both Korea and Japan have a lot of young players coming up. Hyowon, one of the more experienced veterans in Korea right now at 28 years old. Very corner of the table, catching Yuling completely off guard. Watch the placement of this ball. Looks like it's going out right at the white, where the white line meets the other white line. Shot to the heart, and you're to blame. Light underspin short to the forehand side. Yuling takes the point. Ripping forehand countered back. And it's a 2-point lead for Yuling. Ball clips the net, comes up high, but Yuling is quick to get in. Still, Hyowon gets a racket on it. Would have been an amazing recovery. Strong attack. Hyowon making it a 2-point game. Now, when Yuling comes running into the table like she did before, she has to make sure she does not move the table. It's probably heavier as a main court table with the base, but still, the table's moved. She loses the point. In too close to the net, and that ball is coming back. No way, no chance to really return that one. Look at that, no rotation on the ball when she gets to it, full extension through and blasted down the line. Flat hit counterattack comes short. Yuling's shot was so flat, didn't have the topspin on it to lift the ball back off the inverted rubber of Hyowon. I think no how was what I was looking for before. 4-point lead for Yuling, trailing with the serve. And the attack has been quite effective so far this game. Setting it up well. High toss serve, a little bit of topspin, quick turnaround. Twiddles the racket, steps around the backhand corner. You can hear that punch shot off the long pitch side of the racket. Very difficult to control. Don't think we've seen it successful yet so far this match. And gets the forehand counter back, but the point continues, and Yuling now earns herself 5 game points. As wide as they come to the forehand side, Yuling takes it. 11 points to 5 to go up 2 games to 1 over Hyowon. Game 4 back just after this short break.
아니 그러니까 그거는 괜찮다니까. 지금 다 챘는데 그다음 채는 걸 받아야 된다고 얘기하는 거야. 근데 화로 제끼는데 왜 세게 쳐? 이렇게 하라니까. 높게 가라니까. 여유 노빙 줘봐 노빙. 노빙 잘 못 쳐. 그래 네가 아니 네가 엎어져 있으면 내가 이렇게 쳐버린다. 서 있어야지. 서서 이렇게만 받아야 돼. 이거 하고 이거는 이렇게 받아. 이렇게 있잖아. 이것도 막 이렇게 하려고 하니까 어렵다. 너무 세게 온다. 이쪽만 지금 이쪽 그냥 발리야지. 세게. 근데 화로 짧게 또 이걸 쳐가지고 지금 계속 이렇게 공격해야지. 나머지 다 잘했어. 그거만.
to serve. Double.
And we're back for game 4. Yuling with the serve, leading 2-1.
One love.
Well placed serve, almost a second bounce right at the baseline. Cover shot with some topspin from Hyowon, and it's blocked out by Yuling. Recovery shot off the edge of the table. That ball left a little bit too high, and Hyowon with the break still gets it back. And see how high this ball comes in, just catching the edge. Still Yuling able to get a racket on it. It looked like Hyowon was trying to set up the attack, ready to turn the corner, but saw that the ball was not going to be attackable. Had a quick step behind there, feet a little bit out of whack. Yes, what a rally. Outstanding counters from both sides. Yuling able to really add some extra heat to the ball in the middle of that rally. Too hard. Timed it just right. Yuling crushing through that ball. See this one more time. Ball wasn't very high, just a little bit closer to the net. So much power on that shot. And Hyowon showing a bit of power herself. First counter, big forehand attack, keeps it up. We don't see too many defenders in the women's game who are going to hit several forehand shots in a row, that is. Oh, the drop shot falls short after some successful lobbing, counterattacks and everything from Hyowon. Big topspin shot right there. We even got to see a long pips attack for the first time that it landed from Hyowon. Spun to the short side of the table, but it's spun long, and ties it up. Nope, still down by 1. 1 point away from tying it up. Yuling has the serve to take a 2-point lead. That's an angry foot stomp from Hyowon. Earned a good look at that forehand attack. Frustration clear. Foot stomp, leg slap, but back into positive head shake mode. Dries her hand on the table. Very peculiar block. You could see how confused she looked. Seemed like she read the spin properly, just held her racket out to block. Even had a long pips block in the middle of that rally. Was a 1-point game, but now it's a 4-point lead for Yuling at the second towel break. a swatting flat hit back. It's now 6 game points for Ju Yuling to take a 3-1 lead. Jeez. Ripping opening shot right off the serve. It comes back anyway, but the next shot, again, no return. And that's a 3-1 lead for Ju Yuling. Game 5 back just after this break.
다 괜찮아. 근데 볼 컨택이 안 좋아. 지금. 우리가 막 공격을 하고 있다 그랬잖아. 어려운 거 가져가고 있잖아. 그지? 찬스볼 먹은 것도 있었고, 근데 사실 찬스 먹으면서 그랬는데 그 다음부터 먹을 때 봐봐. 얘가 잘 친 거 몇 개 있어. 잘 칠까봐 네가 겁먹어서 막 하나 오른단 말이야. 네 지금 내가 볼 땐 보스 카트가 아주 잘 되고 있어. 네가 지금 뭐가 잘안 되고 잘 되고
Fifth game, CO2 sub, labor.
And we're back for game 5. Hyowon starting us off with the serve. Clearly trying to get the forehand attack into play. Defensive players in general don't have a winning record against the top Chinese players. I think Hyowon's going to have to try and keep that forehand attack a big part of her game. So wide. That ball looked like it exited right near the net. First ball, and then look at this angle. Off the side of the table, inside out forehand from Ju Yuling. Well placed serve with some topspin on the reverse. Timeout is called. Hyowon mentally definitely needs a break. Whether it's going to be ice on the back of the neck. A little conversation with the coach here.
너무 세 걸어? 아이서버 좀 떴는데. 근데 그건 발리를 해야지. 이제 그런 게 순간 그런 거란 말이야. 컨택이란 말이야. 경기 시작 스타트하는 시점이잖아. 근데 네가 제일 잘하는 걸 해야지. 왜 제일 어려운 걸 우리 뭐 한 5대5 막. 자 지금도 서브인데 왜 자꾸 나가지? 왜 이렇게 리시브 많이 나와 있어? 이거 넣으면 길게 안 넣는데. 아니 리시브 때 나와 있는 거야. 이거 넣을 때 길게 안, 이거는 이거로 중요하지만 이거는 길게 안 넣잖아. 근데 왜 나와 있어? 늦어. 툭 떨어지는데 늦단 말이야. 툭 위에서 있어야지. 그래 있고 그다음에 뭐 하는 거는 길게 해서 잘 치면 어쩔 수 없어. 너도 좀 받는다고 생각을 해야 돼. 수비잖아. 봐봐야지. 뭘 아까도 얘기했던 걸 선택하는 거야.
Nice positive finish. A little meeting the coach and the player. Hyowon left with some inspirational words. Looked like there was talk about the receive and how open the face of a racket should be on the forehand side. Right now, Ju Yuling has too many shots of her choosing. Has been putting the ball away with the forehand. Very difficult ball, especially after the ball's dropped. Ju Yuling loops the ball if you're going to counter loop it from back off the table. Difficult, maybe fishing a little bit safer bet. A ball like that for Hyowon. Spin shot after all that work. 2 shots hitting the white baseline on the table. It's a squatting counter from Hyowon to take the point. First point this game. Just missing on the bending block shot, slapping and curving it. Hyowon's step around attack to win the point. The sound of the contact on that ball, Zhu Yuling, so much power. The ball goes long, and it's 3 points in a row for Hyowon. A little bit of hesitation on the second attack. First ball down the short side of the table, very difficult shot. She makes it. Tries to soften it up for an inside-out forehand. Slap shot from Zhu Yuling. One thing to note about Hyowon's chop, she often comes around the outside of the ball on the forehand side, making it bend a little bit. Earlier in the match, it had caused a little bit of trouble for Zhu Yuling, but not so much throughout. Zhu Yuling's adjusted quite nicely to the bend of the ball. Picking her places on the table, running Hyowon around the backcourt. Floating chop doesn't come through with a lot of underspin. Zhu Yuling's going to have to read that. Again, this is one thing that makes defenders very effective, varying their spin. Similar motions for heavy underspin and for floating, meaning less underspin.
Set. 5-7.
Fishing shot, top of the net and out. Frustrated sub moving into a stretch. Speaking of stretches, she's got a little stretch ahead because 3 points from now, if Zhu Yuling wins them all, match is over.
Let. 5-8.
Well placed shot deep into the backhand, and Zhu Yuling earns a 4-point lead. Picks her places and picks her timing to go there. Forehand in middle of the table until bringing it deep to the backhand corner. Break off the top of the net. Ball stays right near. Quick reaction shot from Suh from the middle. 2 in a row.
9.
Top of the net. Neither of those balls is returnable.
Timeout.
Zhu Yuling calling a timeout. Well, some people say nets and edges all even out. Whether that's absolutely true or not, Zhu Yuling knows that she needs to get her head in the game and can't be distracted by this.
他现在就是前面站得近，紧的有点凶，这个时候完全你可以派他正好他一落台，你这个劲儿当一顶，这个正好这个劲儿消得慢，你反正你口角发力更多。现在这个上变，他这转过来自己发起的话，这个胜负发起。
그것도 공격해야 되는데 또 못하고. 아니, 아니 니꺼만 해라니까. 받으면 뭐 네가 그럼 연습 안 된 건데 어떡해. 받아서 연결돼서 맞다가 하다 먹고 나서 제가 잘 쳐서 아까도 하다 딱 잘 쳤지. 그렇게 점수 주란 말이야. 다 안 그런다니까. 그렇게 생각해. 포스 같은 도 내가 뭐 서브 놓고 이거 할 때도 하려면 정확하게 하고 아니면 넣쳐서 쫙 줘가지고 띄우게 해서 진행하고 네가 자리 잡게 하려면 막 자리 잡게 하고 이렇게 해야 된단 말이야. 어? 제가 또 지금 확 걸으라고 할 거라고. 응? 자, 네가 잡힌 생각.
Zhu Yuling back at the table with some words from Konling Hui. Still a 2-point lead, 2 points away from moving on to the women's singles semifinals.
7-9.
Hyowon with the serve after 2 breaks off the top of the net. Forehand right into the body and then out wide to the forehand side. It's a 1-point game. Hyowon with 3 in a row. backhand attack with the long pips. And that's what happens, blocked back into her own side of the table. Very little rotation on the ball from the backhand attack shot. Difficult shot to do, seldom used. But it's a crucial part of the game right now, and Hyowon succeeded with that shot, 9-all. Fast, long, and heavy. It's a game point for Hyowon. 5 points in a row. Jayo from the crowd cheering for Ju Yuling, possibly a teammate. Deep on the table, it floats, and it is overlifted. Hyowon lives to see another game. 6 points in a row from down 5-9. Game 6 just after this break.
그런 거란 말이야. 제가 자기 주 전공한단 말이야. 네가 조금 변칙 줄 건데. 제가 하지. 네가 써준 거 공개했잖아. 그거란 말이야. 네가 꼭 보고 딱 판단해. 그래서 아니면 딱 정확하게 하는 거란 말이야. 대신 과감한 플레이를 선택해야 될 때는 해야 돼.
And we're back for game 6. Hyowon winning 11-9 in game 5 after being down 5-9.
Level.
If there is momentum, it's on the side of Hyowon right now. Floats the second one just up and long. So much power. Ju Yuling crushing through that ball like there was no spin on it at all. Perfect read, just blasting it to the wall. Huge counterattack attempt. Top of the net now, Hyowon rehearsing that in her mind. Next time she gets the opportunity, wants to finish that point in her favor, of course. Smart placement, Ju Yuling hitting it behind Hyowon as she's moving to the middle of the table. Heavy spinny loop from the forehand of Ju Yuling. 5 points to love. So as far as momentum goes, 6 points in a row from Hyowon to end the game in game 5, and now it's 6 points in a row for Ju Yuling to start off game 6 with authority. First towel break this game, and Hyowon has a whole lot of figuring out to do. Sounded like the side of the table. It's going to be 7-0 for Ju Yuling. That ball was all metal. Forehand spin shot wide, and Ju Yuling around the net with the counter. for an 8-0 lead. Look at this again, waiting for it to the short side of the table around the net. Nothing but the top surface of the table. Beautiful shot. Are we going to see a mercy point here? 9-love. Not yet, Wernachi hits it out of the court. When's the last time you saw that? Not in the main court. Ball comes up high, just slaps it, swats at it. That ball's not coming back. Is there going to be a mercy point? We'll see. Let service? No. It's an interesting way to let the mercy point happen. That's very interesting. Just letting the serve go, not even touching it. I guess the idea is don't disguise it if it's a mercy point. Now, Feng Tianwei last year at the Japan Open scored 10 in a row after being down 1-7 to come back and win a game. After a mercy point, I haven't seen that. That'd be interesting. Huge forehand finishes it. 11-3, Yuling with absolute power and authority over Hyowon in Game 6. Strong match for sub, but not strong enough. Yuling will be moving on to the women's singles semifinals. Don't go anywhere. We have arguably the most anticipated match of the night for men's singles. Ju Se-hyuk and Maharu Yoshimura, the up-and-coming Japanese player, will be battling for a spot in the semifinals just after this short break. Stay tuned.